Hi and welcome to Healthy Life Hacks. I'm Jennifer Jeffries, the present day wise woman, a realistic naturopath coming to you from the surfing beaches of Australia. This podcast is for those of you who are wanting to really rock your life and health and live from a place of prevention. Let's get into today's episode. Did you know that margarine is merely a step away from plastic? It is actually, and it isn't. And I wanted to talk about this because it's in my mind, it's not natural. It's not good. And chemically it is, but it isn't. So let's talk about just some basics of what margarine is. So margarine, like everything in nature, is formed by molecules. Okay. Now, since everything is made of molecules, the molecular structures of some things look similar. Now, it doesn't mean it always comes to the same end kind of outcome, or does it? Either way, butter, which is my preference, is the closest to nature. Butter we get by just churning milk or cream and it turns into butter. Close to nature, easy to make, no big scary chemical or anything interventions. Now, margarine, why it's kind of said to be a step away from plastic, is that it chemically, when they get a runny oil, which is what a vegetable oil is, and they're wanting to be able to make it a solid, they make it a solid by using, well, they'll blend a vegetable oil with water and they use emulsifiers to pull it together. Now, when they do it, it molecularly changes it. Now, depending on what oils they pull together, the heat that's used to help hydrogen bond a different way to help make a solid, all those things determines how nasty it is in our body. So, because oil and water just don't mix, and that's how margarines are made. So for me, I remember when margarines first came out, and they were doing it back in the 70s. And Rita, the eater, they had these ads for Eater margarine, and something just didn't sit right with me all the way back there as a kid. And my family, we were butter people, like really butter people, and stayed butter people, thankfully. Margarine is sold as being better for you because it's lower in saturated fat. So saturated fat, and an easy way to think about fats is if it's solid outside your body, it's how it stays inside your body. And so butter is a solid, cheese is a solid, dairy, the white meat, the white fat on your piece of meat is a solid. So they can be the artery clogging kind of fats, all right? Where margarine, they say, oh, this is so good for you because it's a runny oil, and basically runny outside your body stays runny inside your body. However, the process with the emulsifiers and that, it doesn't work the same way. And so for me, as much as margarine starts as a plant oil, the process they do to make margarine, for me, it might as well be bloody plastic. It might as well be plastic. And so for me, I'd rather make healthy butter myself. So if you've got a saturated fat and you're wanting to balance it out, so we know in our body we need to have about 4 parts good fats. That's vegetable fats, plant fats, to 1 part saturated fats like dairy or meat. The Western diet is at least 10 parts saturated fat to 1 part plant fats. So it's something that we need to balance out. So if we're going to have butter, an easy way to do it is, that I like to do it, get a container, okay, and you put, those wrapped in paper kind of blocks of butter, put it in it, let it just melt at room temp. Don't go sticking it into a bloody microwave oven. That's a whole nother story for another day. But let it soften, and then I like equal parts of olive oil, simple, and with a whisk, hand whisk, just whisk it together. You don't need to heat it. You don't need it to do anything. And what happens is you've got the good fat to balance out the saturated fat. It still spreads easy in the fridge if that's why you're wanting to do it. And it still tastes like butter. And it's still close to nature. You've got a natural plant oil and we've got a natural butter, which is just churned, milk or cream. And that's it. It's just like, yay, close to nature. Versus something that you're going to heat and add emulsifiers and do everything, which just takes it further and further and further away from nature. So for me, margarine's never an option. And it doesn't matter if it's an olive oil margarine or a nut butter margarine or all the other kind of fancy things they do, or, hey, and we're going to lower your cholesterol margarine. No, do it naturally. Do it naturally, close to nature. Butter, equal parts of an olive oil if you like. Hand whisk it, put it in the fridge, it works. So for me, yeah, stick to nature as close as possible. That's what the healthy life hack for this is. You get to choose. Everyone gets to draw the line in the sand. However, margarine for me is a not negotiable. I will not touch margarine. Your choice. Have fun. If you want to check out the show notes, go over to healthylifehacks.com.au.
I want to thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed my podcast, please let me know by leaving a review on Apple Podcast. Every month, I draw one lucky person who leaves a review, have a free 1-hour consultation with me. Be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you're tuning in from so that you always catch the next episode. I welcome your emails, and you can write to me at podcast@healthylifehacks.com.au. Until next time, remember, when it comes to life, live it, love it, and get on with it.